Welcome to Friday at PYCON UK. For those of you who were here yesterday, I hope you had a good day. For those of you who've just arrived, welcome. We've got quite a lot to get through this morning before the keynote, so just a few announcements from me and a few other committee members. But the highlight of this morning is going to be the awarding of the John Pinner Awards, and I'm delighted that Sheila is with us down here. Tonight there's the conference dinner. If you've got a ticket, please turn up. If you haven't got a ticket, please don't turn up. We will be printing out what you ordered on a notice board outside. Please take a look at that and then don't switch what you've ordered because that would confuse the caterers. The code of conduct, Daniel, I think he's our code of conduct expert.
Yep. Good morning, everyone. Just to remind you, in case you weren't here yesterday, this conference is governed by a code of conduct, which is on our website. It applies to our social and evening events too. So please take the time to read that. As well as that, we do ask people to maintain high general standards of politeness, which includes asking questions in talks in an appropriate way. In other words, real questions, short questions that are designed to get information that you didn't already have from the speaker and not to let everyone know that you knew something that the speaker didn't. Yeah, it happens sometimes. General consideration, we are a lot of people, so we can help very easily to keep this venue in a good state. So whenever you leave the room, just scan around for a cup or scrap of paper that's by your feet and drop it in one of the bins that's just outside the door, or if it's a ceramic cup, leave it on the table, and that will just help everyone if everyone does a little bit like that. Speak quietly outside doors, move quietly when you're leaving and entering rooms. Lanyards. Committee members have orange lanyards because we're special. Ordinary people will have blue or yellow lanyards, and the blue ones mean that you're happy to be photographed, and the yellow ones mean that you do not wish to be photographed. So please respect that. If you find that you've taken a photograph and it contains a picture of a person wearing a yellow lanyard, we'd like you not to publish that photograph or share it, please. The toilets, there are toilets upstairs and downstairs, the ladies and the gentlemen on this floor and the ladies and the gentlemen on the lower floor. And I say ladies and gentlemen because that's what it says on the doors, because this is a 19th century building. We have many people here who are not either ladies or gentlemen. Some are complete ruffians like myself. But also, more importantly, we have a number of people who are trans or non-binary, and our 19th century toilet labels don't really fit them very well. The basic rule is, if you see somebody using entering a toilet and you don't think that they look quite like you do, it doesn't matter, it's not your problem, just leave them in peace, because everybody wants to be left in peace, especially when they need to use a loo. So please extend your consideration and courtesy and respect that way as well. Today, we have the quiet room available to us because the council are not using it. The quiet room is the old council chamber, which if you go out through that door and then go past behind JP Morgan's stand at the back, you will find a lovely wood-paneled room where you're invited just to spend some time if you want some peace on your own. And it really is a quiet room. It's not a room even for whispered conversation or for hammering on your laptop. It's just to sit there and be quiet and to enjoy the silence. Today's activities, unfortunately, a couple of speakers have run foul of the visa issuing authorities, so we're sorry that they've been unable to come. They've been removed from the website, but they may still be on the printed schedule. Yeah, so be aware of that. Anything we wanted to add about that?
Apparently they've been scribbled off the printing schedule.
They've been scribbled off manually. Carrie-Anne is going to tell us about Picademy.
Morning, sorry it takes me a little while to get up here. So you may have noticed yesterday, or you may have heard, we have 24 educators from Wales and from England taking part in what we call Picademy, which at the Raspberry Pi Foundation is our free face-to-face teacher training program. So we have 24 teachers who are primary school teachers, secondary school teachers, or they work in libraries or in the wider community. And especially in Wales, the computer science curriculum is a new thing. In England, it's been around for a few years now, but still there are a lot of teachers who are taking their first steps into teaching computing for the first time. So yesterday they took part in a number of workshops, and then today we're running a hackathon for them so that they are able to apply that knowledge for the first time. So from around 11 till about 2 p.m, there'll be lots of teachers hacking on some very crazy project ideas. Just to give you an example, someone said yesterday they wanted to build a robot car chicken dispenser. I have no idea what that means, but do you know what? I'm going to help them try and make that dream a reality. So what we need are some really friendly developers, some people in here who know Python very well, who know how to decompose a problem, and can help guide those teachers on their journey. What we don't need is someone to come in and solve the problem for them. So if you have some time between 11 and 2, and you wouldn't mind just giving up a little bit of that time to show people how they can make the next steps on their journey, or maybe introduce them to a library, a Python library they've never used before, or I don't know, there's lots of ways you can come and help. Please drop in. We're in the Ferrier Hall. You're more than welcome, even if you just want to come in and have a chat with the teachers and see how you can help them in the long term. I encourage the teachers to adopt a developer, so adopt one of you going forwards to help them in their learning journey. So please feel free to come along. Thank you very much.
We have a key signing party today. Where's Tom? It's Tom or Amber. Anyway, Tom Granger is running a key signing party
At lunchtime.
at lunchtime and
In one of the rooms.
in one of the rooms. Do you have more information than
Sorry. Tom's put some setup instructions on the website, so if you're interested in that, you should read his notes.
Next, Owen, who's in charge of the buckets and the lightning talks. So,
In charge of the buckets, that's not entirely special, is it really? Final session of the day today will be our lightning talks. If you've not seen those before, this is simply a series of very short talks, a maximum of 5 minutes, and absolutely anybody is welcome to give one of these talks. The only rule is it can be about absolutely anything. It doesn't have to be about Python, it doesn't have to be about coding. You can tell us a bit about yourself. You can if anything that you think we might find interesting and entertaining. The system, the high-tech system that we have for deciding who gets to give a lightning talk is bucket-based. The buckets will appear downstairs very shortly as soon as I finish waving them around here. There are also some index cards that you will find next to the bucket. I'm not going to embarrass this person. If you want to give a lightning talk, take an index card, put your name on it clearly, put the title of your talk, and drop it into either the green or the yellow bucket. The green bucket if you've never spoken at a conference before, the yellow bucket for everybody else. You have until 1:30, so at 1:30 we will draw randomly, we will draw cards from the buckets, we'll post them up downstairs, so keep an eye on the flip chart at reception, and shortly after 1:30 you'll see the talks that have been drawn out of the buckets. If you are one of those, could you please make yourself known to reception and just confirm that you actually still want to give the talk, and we can just tick you off on the list. If you've never done this before, if you've never spoken at a conference, it's a cracking way to get started. It's a very friendly audience. You'll get the biggest cheer of your life, especially if you tell them you've never spoken before. You'll get the most sympathetic response you've ever seen. So, hope to see lots of cards in the buckets.
lunch, if you look at your badge, and you're not long-sighted, and you'll see that there are settings marked. So you might have a setting, sitting A, B, or C. and it will tell you the time. Please observe the time so that we can get all these hundreds of people through lunch comfortably. And if you absolutely must change your time for whatever reason, that's fine, but try to observe this as much as possible. Yesterday, I understand that there were quite a number of people who had registered but didn't turn up for lunch, and so there was a certain amount of food left over. That won't be the case today, we hope. So don't assume that there'll be lots of food going spare. Nick? We have some panels, and Nick wants to ask you to... Yes, yes.
Don't worry. So one of the things that we talked about this year was trying to change the format of some of the things that we do at PyCon UK, and we hit upon the idea of having panels. So think, I don't know, Gardener's Question Time or Question Time on the BBC at 10:30, you know, when you harangue politicians. Hopefully you're not going to harangue anybody, but we actually need questions to ask the panel. We have 3 panels. The first one is today at 4:30, and it's about Python in education. The one tomorrow is about ethics and politics in programming, and the one on Sunday is about developer career progression. We need questions that we can ask these panels. These are great panelists as well. I'm starting to sound like Donald Trump now, aren't I? We have the best panelists here. But if you go to the website and you click on the page for each panel, you'll see that there will be a link on that page for a Google form where you can submit questions. So get your thinking caps on and try and think of a question to be put to these panels. Thank you.
Tim, who's been organizing our video recording for the whole conference, needs some more video operators, camera operators, like the gentleman over there who's looking after a camera for us. So if you are happy to spend your time in a talk sitting quietly behind the camera, and all you need to do is point it in the right direction occasionally, please come and see Tim, because we need several more, don't we, still, for...
Yeah, session after this in here, I don't have a camera.
Okay, so for example, in the session after this one, we need somebody to sit up there on the high chair. It's really nice, you get a better view, and you do a useful job. So please come and see Tim if you can help with that. We'd be very grateful. And over to...
Did you get my